morning is supposed to feel fresh, light, clean, a new beginning. But for millions of people, the first hour after waking up quietly becomes the exact moment their body switches into fat storage mode without them even realizing it. The shocking part is that it often starts with foods that look completely harmless: a glass of juice, sweet coffee, toast, cereal, even those healthy breakfast bars loaded with hidden sugar. Within minutes, insulin rises fast, blood sugar jumps, energy crashes later, cravings get stronger, and the body slowly becomes less willing to burn stored fat. Most people spend months blaming calories, blaming age, blaming slow metabolism, even blaming genetics, while the real problem may already be happening before breakfast is even finished. One small morning habit can influence hunger, energy, cravings, and fat burning for the rest of the day, and almost nobody talks about it properly. Fitness ads keep pushing harder workouts, diet companies keep selling complicated meal plans, but inside the body, one hormone quietly controls whether energy gets stored or used, and that hormone is insulin. When insulin stays high too often, the body becomes extremely good at storing energy and surprisingly bad at accessing stored fat. That is why some people feel hungry again only an hour after breakfast. That is why energy crashes hit in the middle of the morning. That is why late night cravings often begin with what happened after waking up. The body follows signals, and insulin is one of the strongest signals it listens to. Modern mornings are almost designed to keep insulin elevated. Fast breakfasts, sugary drinks, processed foods, eating too quickly, constant snacking. Most people never give their body enough time to naturally tap into stored energy, and over time, the body adapts to this cycle. The scary part is that many people trying to lose weight are accidentally making the process harder every single morning while believing they are doing everything correctly. Some even choose low-fat foods thinking they are healthier, not realizing many of those foods replace fat with extra sugar and refined carbohydrates that spike insulin even faster. This is where things become frustrating. A person starts eating less, they start avoiding desserts, they even begin exercising more, but stubborn belly fat stays. Hunger stays, cravings stay, energy stays unstable. Then motivation disappears because nothing feels like it is working. But once insulin control improves, the entire experience can start changing. Hunger becomes more stable, energy becomes smoother, snacking becomes easier to resist. Fat loss may finally begin feeling natural instead of forced. Inside this video, you will learn the #1 morning insulin trick that many people overlook completely. It is simple, natural, free, no expensive supplements, no dangerous fat burners, no impossible diet rules. Just a smarter way to start the morning so the body can stay in a fat burning state longer instead of immediately switching into storage mode. You will learn what insulin actually does inside the body in very simple language. You will learn why the first foods eaten after waking up matter more than most people think. You will learn why certain healthy breakfasts may actually increase cravings later in the day. You will also discover why some people feel more focused and energized when they stop flooding their body with sugar first thing in the morning. There is also an important reason why morning timing matters. Early in the day, cortisol naturally rises to help wake the body up. When large amounts of sugar enter the system during that same period, the insulin response can become even stronger in some people. That combination may lead to bigger crashes, stronger hunger, and more fat storage over time. Very few people connect those dots. They only notice the symptoms: the low energy, the cravings, the constant urge to snack, the slow weight gain that seems impossible to stop. And the most surprising part is that this trick is not about starving yourself. It is not about suffering. It is not about skipping every meal or avoiding food forever. The goal is balance. The goal is controlling insulin instead of allowing insulin spikes to control the entire day. Many people believe fat loss starts in the gym, but in reality, it often starts with hormones and timing. Small morning decisions can create a chain reaction that lasts for hours. One stable morning can lead to fewer cravings later. Fewer cravings can lead to better eating decisions. Better eating decisions can slowly improve insulin sensitivity, and improved insulin sensitivity can make fat loss easier over time. This is why two people can eat similar calories while getting completely different results. Hormones influence the process more than most people realize. By the end of this video, you will understand a hidden mistake that may be slowing down your fat burning every morning, the science behind why it happens, the foods and habits that make it worse, and the simple morning insulin trick that may help your body finally stop fighting against weight loss. There is also one important warning near the end that most videos never mention, especially for people who think more fasting always means better results. That part matters because balance is the real key to long-term progress. Quick fixes usually fail. Smart routines usually last. And once you understand what insulin is doing behind the scenes, mornings will never look the same again. So stay with us until the end because one small change after waking up could completely change the way your body handles hunger, energy, and fat storage throughout the day. Welcome to the channel where we break down complex health topics into simple truths that actually make sense. If you enjoy videos that help you understand your body in a smarter and more practical way, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next video. This is where the real frustration begins for most people. The effort is there. The motivation is there. The discipline is there. Many people genuinely try to lose weight. They reduce portions. They stop eating desserts. They switch to healthy snacks. Some even force themselves through difficult workouts while constantly feeling tired and hungry. But despite all of that effort, belly fat stays stuck in the same place for months or even years. The number on the scale barely moves. Energy levels stay unstable. Cravings never fully disappear. And eventually people begin believing their body is broken. What makes this even more confusing is that some people are eating less food than before and still struggling to lose fat. That feels impossible. Most people are taught that weight loss is only about calories, so when eating less does not work the way they expected, frustration grows fast. But inside the body, another system is quietly influencing everything behind the scenes, and one of the biggest players in that system is insulin. The body is not simply counting calories like a calculator. Hormones constantly decide what happens to the energy entering the system. Some hormones increase hunger, some control stress, some influence energy levels. And insulin plays a major role in determining whether the body stores energy or uses it. This is why two people can eat similar meals and still experience very different results. One person feels full and energized while another feels hungry again an hour later. One slowly burns fat while another struggles with constant cravings and stubborn weight gain. Hormones help explain that difference. The biggest misunderstanding is that insulin itself is somehow evil or dangerous. It is not. The body needs insulin to survive. Without it, the body cannot properly move sugar from the bloodstream into cells where it can be used for energy. Every time food is eaten, especially carbohydrates and sugar, insulin rises to help manage that energy. That process is normal. The problem begins when insulin stays elevated too often throughout the day. Modern eating habits make this extremely common. Sweet breakfasts, sugary drinks, constant snacks, desserts, processed foods, late night eating. The body rarely gets a break from repeated insulin spikes. Over time, this can slowly push the body toward a constant storage state. And when the body spends too much time in storage mode, accessing stored fat becomes more difficult. This is the part most people never hear explained clearly. Fat loss is not only about how much energy enters the body. It is also about whether the body is willing to release stored energy in the first place. High insulin levels make that harder. Morning becomes especially important because the body is already going through major hormonal changes after waking up. During sleep, the body is fasting naturally for several hours. Then morning arrives and hormones begin preparing the body for the day ahead. One of those hormones is cortisol. Cortisol often gets a bad reputation because people connect it with stress, but the truth is more complicated. Cortisol also helps wake the body up. It naturally rises in the morning to increase alertness and energy. This is completely normal. The body is trying to shift from resting mode into active mode, but now add another modern habit on top of that process: a large sugary breakfast. Sweet coffee, flavored creamers, syrups, juice, white bread, cereals loaded with sugar, pastries. Suddenly, blood sugar rises extremely fast at the exact moment cortisol is already active. In many people, this combination may create an even stronger insulin response. The body reacts quickly. Blood sugar shoots upward. Insulin rushes in to bring it down. Then the crash begins later. This is why some people feel exhausted only a few hours after breakfast. It is why cravings suddenly appear before lunch even arrives. It is why some people feel shaky, hungry, or mentally foggy after eating foods that were supposed to provide energy. The cycle keeps repeating day after day. A spike, then a crash, then hunger, then another snack, then another insulin rise, then another crash later. The body slowly becomes trapped in a roller coaster of unstable energy. Most people blame themselves for lacking discipline, but often the problem started with unstable blood sugar and repeated insulin spikes earlier in the day. And because this cycle repeats every morning, it becomes normal. People stop questioning it. They believe feeling tired after breakfast is normal. They believe craving sugar at noon is normal. They believe constant hunger is normal. But stable energy feels very different when insulin is better controlled. One of the biggest clues appears around belly fat. Belly fat is often stubborn because the body becomes very protective of stored energy when insulin remains elevated too often. This does not mean insulin alone causes every weight problem, but it does mean insulin strongly influences whether the body is in storage mode or fat burning mode. Many people work incredibly hard while accidentally sending the wrong signals to their body every morning. They start the day with foods that digest rapidly and flood the bloodstream with sugar. Then they wonder why hunger returns so quickly afterward. The body reacts exactly the way it was designed to react. Quick sugar creates quick insulin. Quick insulin changes energy balance. And unstable energy creates more cravings later. It becomes a chain reaction. The strange part is that many breakfast foods marketed as healthy are actually some of the biggest triggers for this cycle. Fruit juices sound healthy because they come from fruit, but many contain huge amounts of sugar without the fiber that normally slows digestion. Sweet cereals are often advertised with words like whole grain or fortified vitamins while still causing rapid blood sugar spikes. Toast with jam feels light and harmless, yet it can digest extremely quickly, especially when eaten alone without enough protein or fat to slow things down. Flavored coffee drinks are another major issue. Some coffee drinks contain dessert level amounts of sugar before the day has even properly started. And because liquid sugar enters the bloodstream very fast, the insulin response can become even stronger. Many people think they are simply drinking coffee when they are actually drinking a sugar bomb on an empty stomach. That empty stomach matters more than most people realize. After several hours of overnight fasting, the body becomes more sensitive to what enters the system first. This is why the first meal of the day can shape energy and hunger patterns for hours afterward. Foods that digest slowly usually create more stable energy. Foods that digest rapidly often create bigger spikes and crashes. But modern breakfasts are designed for convenience and taste, not stability. Sweetness became normal, quick digestion became normal, constant snacking became normal, and slowly stable energy disappeared from many people's lives. Experts have also raised concerns about combining sugar-heavy coffee drinks with an empty stomach, especially in people who already struggle with blood sugar control. Caffeine alone can temporarily influence blood sugar and stress hormones in some individuals. When large amounts of sugar are added on top of that, the glucose response may become even more dramatic. Some people notice this immediately. They feel jittery, hungry, irritated. Others do not notice until years later, when weight gain, cravings, and energy problems slowly become chronic. The body often gives warning signs long before serious problems appear. Constant fatigue after eating, needing sugar for energy, crashing in the afternoon, feeling hungry shortly after meals. Those signs are not random. The body is responding to unstable energy regulation. To understand why this happens, insulin needs to be understood in very simple terms. Think of insulin like a storage signal. When food enters the body, especially carbohydrates and sugar, insulin rises and tells cells to absorb energy from the bloodstream. Again, this is normal. The body is trying to keep blood sugar stable. Problems begin when this signal happens too frequently and too intensely throughout the day. The body becomes overwhelmed by constant incoming energy. Instead of smoothly using stored fat between meals, the body keeps focusing on the new energy constantly arriving from food and drinks. This is why many people rarely tap into stored fat effectively. The body usually burns either incoming food or stored fat, not both efficiently at the same time. If new energy keeps arriving every few hours, especially sugar heavy energy, the body spends more time dealing with that incoming fuel instead of using stored reserves. This explains why some people can feel hungry despite carrying large amounts of stored energy on their body. Stored fat is energy, but high insulin can make accessing that stored energy more difficult. So the body keeps asking for more food instead of comfortably using what is already available. That creates a frustrating cycle where people feel constantly hungry even while trying to lose weight. And the more processed the food becomes, the faster this cycle often repeats. Highly refined foods digest quickly. Liquid calories digest quickly. Sugary breakfasts digest quickly. Fast digestion usually means faster blood sugar rises. Faster blood sugar rises usually mean larger insulin responses. Then the body rapidly pulls sugar from the bloodstream, and the energy drop can feel dramatic afterward. This is why some people feel sleepy after breakfast instead of energized. They ate for energy, but the hormonal response created instability instead. A breakfast loaded with sugar may create temporary excitement and alertness at first, but the crash later often feels even worse. Then more caffeine enters the system, then another snack, then another crash later. Many modern eating habits unknowingly trap people inside this loop from morning until night. By evening, cravings become stronger because energy has been unstable all day long. Then late night snacking happens. Then sleep quality suffers. Then the next morning starts with another sugary breakfast because exhaustion feels overwhelming. The cycle repeats again. Children are increasingly exposed to this same pattern early in life. Sweet cereals, chocolate milk, pancakes with syrup, packaged snacks before school, then energy crashes during the day, followed by more sugar cravings later. Many people grow up believing unstable energy is normal because they have never experienced anything different. But once insulin spikes become less extreme and meals become more balanced, the difference can feel dramatic. Energy often becomes steadier, hunger becomes quieter, cravings become less aggressive. The body finally stops demanding constant quick fuel. One major reason protein-rich breakfasts are often recommended is because protein usually creates a more stable response compared to sugar-heavy processed foods. Protein tends to slow digestion, improve fullness, and reduce the rapid blood sugar swings that many people experience after eating refined carbohydrates alone. Healthy fats and fiber can also help slow the absorption process. But many modern breakfasts contain very little protein and very little fiber while containing huge amounts of refined carbohydrates and added sugar. This creates the perfect environment for unstable insulin responses. A bowl of sugary cereal may digest incredibly fast compared to eggs, yogurt, nuts, or protein-based meals. The body reacts differently depending on what enters the system. Another hidden issue is liquid calories. Juice, sweet coffee, flavored drinks, energy drinks, and sugary smoothies can deliver massive amounts of sugar very quickly because liquids digest faster than many solid foods. Some smoothies marketed as healthy contain more sugar than desserts. And because they are consumed rapidly, the body receives a huge energy load in a short amount of time. The insulin response can become significant, especially first thing in the morning. This is one reason why many people still feel hungry shortly after drinking calorie heavy beverages. Liquid calories often do not create the same fullness signals as solid foods. The body processes them differently. Stress also plays a hidden role in this entire process. Modern mornings are often rushed and stressful. Alarms, traffic, emails, notifications, work pressure, sleep deprivation. The body already feels stressed before breakfast even begins. Then sugar and caffeine enter the system aggressively. Cortisol rises further, blood sugar swings become more dramatic, hunger signals become more confusing. Chronic stress can push people toward comfort foods because the body seeks quick energy during stressful periods. This is why emotional eating and sugar cravings often become stronger during stressful times. Hormones interact with each other constantly. Nothing inside the body works in isolation. Sleep quality matters too. Poor sleep can increase hunger hormones and worsen insulin sensitivity the next day. After a bad night of sleep, the body often craves quick carbohydrates and sugar for fast energy. That means the morning insulin spike may become even worse after sleep deprivation. Many people think their cravings are caused by weak discipline when their hormones are actually responding to exhaustion and unstable energy regulation. This is why true fat loss often requires more than simply counting calories. Hormonal balance, sleep quality, stress management, food quality, meal timing, and insulin control all interact together. One of the most dangerous parts of repeated insulin spikes is how normal they can feel. A person may wake up tired, drink sweet coffee, crash by mid morning, snack before lunch, feel exhausted again in the afternoon, crave sugar at night, and repeat the process daily for years without realizing how unstable their energy system has become. The body adapts slowly, so people stop noticing the problem clearly, but the signs continue building in the background. Waistlines slowly expand, hunger becomes more aggressive, energy becomes more dependent on caffeine and sugar, fatigue becomes constant, focus becomes weaker, mood swings become stronger. Many people assume aging alone caused these changes while their daily insulin roller coaster played a huge role behind the scenes. And this is exactly why the first hours of the morning matter so much. The body is already hormonally active after waking up. Cortisol is rising naturally, blood sugar regulation is shifting from overnight fasting into daytime energy use. The first foods and drinks entering the system can either support stable energy or create chaos for the rest of the day. A stable morning often creates a stable afternoon. An unstable morning often creates cravings, crashes, and hunger later. That is why improving mornings can completely change the way fat loss feels. Instead of fighting constant hunger, the body gradually begins working more smoothly. Instead of chasing quick energy every few hours, energy starts lasting longer naturally. Instead of obsessing over food constantly, cravings slowly become quieter. At the end of the day, this is not about starving yourself. It is not about punishing your body. And it is definitely not about chasing another extreme diet that only works for a few weeks before everything falls apart again. Real change usually starts with understanding how the body actually works. One small decision in the morning can quietly shape your hunger, your cravings, your energy, and even your fat burning ability for the rest of the day. Most people spend years trying to fight their body without realizing their hormones are controlling the battle behind the scenes. But once you begin controlling those signals instead of constantly triggering them, everything can start feeling different. It's not about eating less, it's about keeping your body in fat burning mode longer. And when your mornings change, your cravings change, your energy changes, your focus changes, and eventually your body changes too. This is not magic, it is consistency. Small choices repeated every single morning. A calmer start, a smarter breakfast, fewer sugar spikes, more stable energy, And over time, those simple habits can create results that finally feel sustainable instead of exhausting. Now, the real question is this: are you willing to test this tomorrow morning and see how your body responds? If you are, comment reset below so we know you're starting this journey with us. And if this video helped you understand your body in a completely different way, make sure to like this video because it helps more people discover these simple health truths. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications because we're going to keep breaking down fat loss, hormones, nutrition, and health in the simplest way possible without the fake hype and confusion. And don't forget to share this video with someone who keeps struggling with cravings, low energy, or stubborn belly fat because one small morning change could completely transform the way they feel every single day.